What up, guys? Jason Guyman here with King of Pressure Wash, and tonight we're going to talk about how you can do other things and keep growing a business. Sometimes I have talked to quite a few people and they have slowed down. And so I just want to talk a little bit about other things we can do in the wintertime or in this time of season, so that way we can keep busy and we can keep growing our business, we can keep pushing forward, and we can make it happen, right? Because that is what we want to do, is to help us keep growing our business. And so as we do this, I'm going to hit on a couple things here tonight as we are going to go through this. And so I just want you to be able to think about some things of what are some other ways that we can generate income when things slow down, right? Because sometimes things slow down. I have some really good clients of mine that have been very successful, and I'm getting texts back from them and they have slowed down. And so this is something that, if you're starting a business, this could be a hard time. If you didn't do like what I said, then this could be a hard time. If you went out and spent a bunch of money on equipment, this could be a hard time for you. Starting now for the live. I forgot to send out my text message, so that's what I'm doing now. And so I just wanted to hit on these things so that way, as you are growing your business, as you're doing this, there is going to be times when you slow down. Sometimes it could be the economy, sometimes it can be the weather, sometimes it can be all kinds of whatever it might be. And for instance, this year, the weather kind of hurt a lot of us in the beginning, especially us up here in the north. We got rain a lot on the weekends, and that kind of made a little bit difficult for people to go out and mow their grass, and it never really got warm. And so we can use these excuses, or we can figure out ways that we can try to do other services that are very profitable that not everybody else is doing, right? A lot of times everybody's doing house washing. And some of these things that I'm going to suggest today may or may not be what you might want to do, but there's times in your life that sometimes you got to do hard things so that way you can get through them. And so as I was growing my business, the hard things that I did is we knew before I learned that I needed to schedule all my commercial in the summer because it was going to slow down, right? I know summertime slows down. I didn't know that in the beginning, but now that after I knew that it slowed down, I knew I wanted employees, and to keep employees, I knew I had to find something to do in the summertime. This was before I started doing commercial work. And so, I was doing commercial work, but I wasn't doing commercial work of pushing it in that June, July, August area, so that way I could keep my business running as a nice way to go on. So it was 2014. I decided I am going to do decks. Decks is something that you can definitely do in the summertime, because a lot of times you can't do them in the spring because if it rains, wood's wet, you got to wait 48 hours to put the seal on, and it's definitely something that you have to push out into the summertime. And so I had done decks, and so what I learned really fast is I hate decks. I did decks for a little over a year, and when I did decks over that year, what I learned is that I hated decks. And so what I learned from that is I kept raising my prices and raising my prices more and more and more. And eventually I was like, I got to quit doing decks. And we were up to $8-10 a foot to do decks, and it was one of those things that I hated doing decks. And so it wasn't that it wasn't good money. We were charging $6 to $8 a foot to clean and seal a deck, and it takes a half a day to clean it and a half a day to seal it, And so for a day's worth of work, I mean, you're making 5-10 grand a day. And so it could be you would usually wash one day in the morning, and then you would go stain a deck that afternoon or that next day. But there was a lot more callbacks on decks. And so decks is definitely something that we can do. It was something that, I mean, I did a deck and he approved the color and he loved the color. And when the wife got home, she didn't like the color. And this was a $5,000 deck. And it was like, well, if you want it redone, it's going to cost you another $5,000 because we got to strip this off and we got to redo this deck. And that's what it's going to cost you. So from there, we went and got out of decks, and that's when I started doing Christmas lights. But I also I started learning that I needed to make sure that I had work in the summertime. And so one thing that, even as I've seen the residential slow down this year, the commercial, some of it slowed down, but for most people that you've been doing commercial work, hasn't slowed down at all. A few of you I know has slowed down for commercial work, but most of you, the commercial work has been doing very well for you. And so that's why, as we're doing this and we're looking for other ways that we need to make money, commercial work is definitely something that you can look at and see. So I know I did a long intro there, but I just kind of had a story and I wanted to tell you my story. And so that was my story of there. We got Aces High in here. We got Mr. Rick in here. That ain't good. Mr. Rick is in here. How are you doing? From New York. He's going to be at the Christmas light class coming up this next weekend. Mr. Safe Wash of Florida, what's up? Really liked the Christmas light video earlier. If you didn't see the Christmas light video, I did do a whole video on Christmas lights on my Christmas light channel. It's also, if you want to go check out the group, I have a group. You can go to christmaslights.io/group. It doesn't cost you anything to get into the group. I talk all about Christmas lights in there, and I'm trying to grow that group. My goal is to get it to 10,000 people. I don't know if I'm going to get it to 10,000, but it's getting a lot right now, and I may have to get some help to keep admins in it to help me keep the crap out. Because in my groups, I don't allow a lot of stupid stuff to be posted. I will delete you and block you, and that's how I roll with my groups. If you're there just to spam it, don't go there to spam it because you will be kicked out really fast. I'm ready to learn. And from greetings from Dallas, how you doing? Another good week. That is awesome. From Joey Hodges. That means you got to save up for a rainy day. And this is something for sure that a lot of people don't do, right? We don't know if our business is profitable, and we don't have profit to be able to save up for a rainy day, or we get this shiny syndrome going of there's a new tool that some guru said that you need to buy, and you go buy all the new toys, and the next thing you know, when you don't have no money, your shiny toys mean nothing. And so that's why I push so hard on go get jobs first before you ever spend a dime on a bunch of equipment. Someone was telling me a story. They bought a $28,000 rig, and they're spending this much money in marketing, and guess how much money they are making right now? Goose egg, because you spend no money in marketing and you spend $28,000 on a rig will not get you money. I will promise you it will not make you money. What's up, Mr. Olson? How's Michael doing? It slowed down for me too. I'm staying busy marketing to current customers. And this is a good point, right? A lot of people get these really nice CRMs, Jobber, and I'm not saying nothing's wrong with Jobber, but then we put all these people in there and we don't do anything to market back to them. And this is a good time that we can call them, we can text them, we can email them, we can do everything we need to do to try to keep our business running. And that is definitely a way that we can do this. Hi, Jason. It's Maurice Shine Wash Pro. Can you please finish my Christmas light website? Thank you, companies around here in Arizona installing lights. Yes. Actually, you might already be done. Let me see. Message me on Facebook. If you have me on Facebook, message me is what I would say. I think you're done. But I'm not 100% sure. If not, I will get you done tomorrow. What's up, Sean? How are you doing? Decks keep me busy. Have 5 for next week. Absolutely. What's up? What's up, Mr. Dan? How's Dan doing up in Cleveland, Ohio? We got David. We got Mr. Tristan. Tristan is awesome. Big Rob. Can I buy the rig for half price? And you can buy a lot of those rigs for half price because that's what happens. Hey, Jason, what is the minimum temperature for pressure washing? And so the minimum pressure temperature is 32 degrees, whatever it's going to freeze your vehicle out there. But in all honesty, I mean, did I do it? You got to worry about your rig freezing. So if you have a place to store it inside, that's one thing. Otherwise, once it hits the 40 mark, you're about done. Hello, Jason, Trinity Pressure Washing Christmas lights. All right. So let's hit on some things here about what can we do to diversify and not put all our eggs in one basket. Because whether we're talking about marketing or we're talking about how we can keep our business going, and this is important. And, you know, this is something that, this is definitely something that, yes, I can change the name. This is definitely something that you have to look at as we do this. Now, a lot of people I know that are coming out of pressure washing, and I'm not just saying this off of a few people that I know. I've seen this a lot of people slowing down. Have I seen some people have some really good months? Absolutely, I have. You know, I have seen several people do very well, right? I've got Mr. Tristan. He did a $39,200 month for September. So he's doing very well. Now, that was a $17,000 commercial work, right? Because he is working on his commercial, and that's how he was being able to get there. And so another reason why he's been able to get there is he shows up every Monday night for Monday night coaching call and marketing call. And when he does show up, he doesn't just sit there and do nothing. He asks lots of questions. If Tristan doesn't ask 3 questions per the Monday night coaching call, at least 3, if not 10, there's something he's not feeling good that day. But by him asking lots of questions, he's able to grow his business at a young age of 25 years old. I think he just turned 25. He either just turned 24 or he just turned 25. And he did a almost $40,000 month in pressure washing. And so I'm not saying that everybody's going to be slow. I'm just saying that if you're not taking action and making things happen and go flip rocks and do the things you need to do, you won't be like Tristan. You know, if I knew and Tristan is a very young, very smart guy, right? He knows that I am coming to Dallas in a couple weeks. And he is going to take me out to dinner and buy my dinner. And I'm telling him that because I know he is, because I bought his dinner the last time. So I'm going to eat the biggest steak I can get, and I'm going to put it on his tab. And so because he's going to suck all the energy and knowledge out of my head as he can, because he's a smart kid. And you know what? I love helping smart kids. I love helping people get to where they can grow their business and be successful. And, you know, you can think about, you know, I've heard people in Dallas say you can't make money in Dallas doing Christmas lights, making $8, $10 a foot. And guess what? Tristan is doing it because he does what I tell him to do, and he's listening and he's taking action. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful is taking action. Now, is there times that when you take action, it still don't happen? Sure there is. Is there things that you can do to keep your business growing? Absolutely. Will you maybe have to change what you've been doing and get out of and get into the uncomfortable zone? Absolutely. Right? So don't be afraid to get into your uncomfortable zone. And some of you are in your uncomfortable zone already because you're starting a business, right? You don't understand that starting a business, the business part is the hardest part of starting a business. Everybody wants to think about starting a business and growing their Christmas light business and their pressure washing business, that the hardest part is hanging the lights and getting the right chemical and which way do I spray and how do I spray and what chemicals do I need. And that is the easiest part of this business. The hardest part of this business is A, getting customers, B, running a business, making sure you know your numbers. Tristan knows his numbers. Tristan has a big pot of cash that he knows his numbers, right? Because he's a smart kid. And as you know your numbers, this is something that you have to do. And this is what I would say right now is if you know your numbers, give me a thumbs up. And if you do know your numbers, my next question is what numbers do you need to know? And so my question to you, this is a lot of questions I get, is what numbers do I need to know? Well, the first one is what is profit, right? Can anybody tell me what profit is? I'm not even down here because I'm still up here on Trump, on here. Jason is legit. Ask what you don't know. And and that's the thing, right? It is all about what do you want to do with your business? What numbers do I need to know so that I know that I'm successful, right? Do you know how much it costs for you to run your business? A lot of times I ask this and people say, well, it don't cost me nothing. It only cost me like $20 of bleach and that's all it cost me. Okay, how about the fuel that it got you there? How about the insurance? How about the workers' comp, the payroll tax, all the other bullcrap tax, and how about gas, and how about all the crap that adds up? How about your website and your marketing and your yard signs, and all of that adds up? And a lot of times when you start looking at those numbers, you will realize it will cost you $300 to $400 every time you go out. And so if your average ticket is only $300 to $400, that means you're making this much money, right? You're making goose egg. That means you need to raise your prices. So that's why I preach raise your prices so much. And what is your average ticket? Everybody's worried about their competitors. I can probably go through here and show you people that I know that are so worried about their competitors. If you want to be a competitor, beat yourself. Look at your average ticket and say, hey, you know what? Last week, my average ticket was $454. My goal this week, my average ticket's going to be $475, right? I'm going to beat what I did last week, and then I'm going to beat what I did last month, and then I'm going to beat what I did last year, right? And then I'm going to beat what I did yesterday, because if you play with yourself and you go out there and you flip rocks and you do the things you need to do to make that happen, you will be shocked at what will happen, right? When Ford went and he came into the plant and all he did was ask the people, how many cars did you do last night? And they said, and he said 6. And all he did was write a big 6 on the floor. Didn't say a word, didn't do nothing else. And so when second shift came in, they're like, why did you write a 6 on? Why's the big 6 on the floor? And they said, Ford wrote a big 6. I don't know. That's how many cars we did. So that night shift ended up doing like 8. And then the day shift did like 10 because they kept telling him he was at capacity. So when you compete with yourself, you can't control what your competitors do, right? There's nothing in control. You can lower your prices all you want, and all that's going to do is drive you straight out of business. If you're going to compete on yourself, you will be shocked at how much you will be able to grow your business, right? Hey, you know what? Last week, I did $5,000. Because I did $1,000 a day. This week, I want to be at $5,500. I want to do $1,050 a day on average. And then you just keep doing that. And then you'll be able to hit, like Tristan did, of hitting a $40,000 month. Well, he didn't quite hit a $40,000 month. He only hit $39,200 or $39,400. Marketing spend, average ticket, expenses, revenue, profit, so many just dropped out of my head, right? These are all things we need to know. How much does it cost you to get a customer? That's on the marketing spend, right? Let me ask you this in here. So Richard put $647 a day. So my next question is how much does it cost you to get a customer, right? And you might say, well, how do I figure that out? Well, what you do is you look at how much you spend in marketing for the month, for the year, whatever you want to do, and then you divide that by how much you spent on marketing, right? And that's going to tell you how much it cost you to get a customer. Right? Now, if you really want to do it and break it down a lot better than that, what you can do is take that number and say, all right, I know that yard signs cost me this much. I have a special number for yard signs. So I know every customer that calls me off of that yard sign is a yard sign, right? And now I can take that number and divide it by how many customers I've gotten from yard signs. Now, Rick, he gets all his from yard signs, right? Or referrals. But most of them are from yard signs. And so that's why this is so important as we keep pushing our business. I'm not trying to be here to make you all not profitable. That is not my goal at all. My goal is to help you grow your business and be successful. My goal is to help you get to $100,000. That's my goal. If my goal was to make Jason more money, I would be making rigs and I'd be telling you, come buy my rigs, come buy my rigs. I have the best rigs ever. You need to buy my rigs and come buy my rigs. Do I say my training? Sure I do. But you know what? I can give you proof that if you did come show up, you would be like Tristan, you'd be like Richard, right? And go from doubling your income by being in my membership. Would you like that? How much is that worth? And I'm not just saying that to say that. I can prove it, right? Richard been in business for 3-4 years, and he doubled his money because he did what I told him to. Raised his prices, and then he put more yard signs out. And that's pretty much it. And you know what? There ain't nothing special about Rick. He's old and grumpy. And you know what? I give him hell every time he comes on Monday Night Marketing. I'm surprised he's still coming because I like to give him hell. But you know what? He's awesome and he's killing it, right? For someone in their 50s and making over $200,000 and some $1,000 already. He's going to probably hit $300,000 as an old guy, right? And that's what's awesome. So you got a young guy that's going to do $200,000-$300,000, and you got an old guy that's going to do $200,000-$300,000. Now, how awesome is that? I think that's pretty freaking awesome. I think that's amazing, right? I think that's awesome, and that's why I love it when I see these two guys show up for Monday Night Marketing, because I know they're taking what I'm teaching them and they're taking action, right? Richard, he asks one question a day. Richard only asks one question in Monday Night Marketing, and I usually got to pull that question out of him, and I usually get him grumpy right out of the get-go. Tristan, he asks 10 questions a day. Why? Is he stupid? No, he's not stupid. He's very smart. You know how you get smarter? By asking questions. That's how you get smarter. You've got to ask questions. And you know what? I know not everybody likes to ask questions, but that's what is going to help you. Get out of your comfort zone. Ask questions. You will be shocked what happens when you ask questions. We get in business to make more than a 9-to-5. Absolutely. And you know what? Did his parents like him going and starting his own pressure washing business? No, they didn't. Did they want him to go to college? Yes. Was he trying to be a baseball star? Sure he was. Did he make it? No. But is he making it now? Yes, don't let failures keep you from growing, right? And you might not be the one to grow a business. Maybe you do love to go to school, and maybe you will be a baseball player or a soccer player or whatever kind of player you are and become a pro, right? But maybe you won't. And when you're not, just take action. Don't let that stop you from taking action. Average ticket is $685, and that's in Florida, right? You can't get that here. And so that's what's awesome. You know how many times I've heard, you can't make money down here in Florida, but I've got a guy right here doing $685. Jason Hefner's got a $700 average ticket. So yes, you can. We've got a return of 100x on applying what we've learned in your training, right? They're going to do $400,000 only working weekends. They show up to my Monday night marketing. They've shown up to my in-person training. They show up and ask questions. That's the key. You've got to take action. You know, it can be one of the hardest things to do as you grow your business. And it can be one of the loneliest things that you can do growing your business. All right. I didn't even mean to go down that trail of thought. It just kind of expired. Sorry. This year, look at this. This year completed 118 jobs for $80,000. You only need 20 more thousand. You're going to do $100,000 in 2020. That is freaking amazing. You can grow your business for free by calling your customers base once a month. Start implementing this, and it works. Stay on top of mind, 100%. And you don't have to be like, hey, do you need pressure washing? Hey, Miss Jones, I'm just giving you a call to see how you're doing. We're going to be in your area, and if there's anything I can do to help you, let me know. I'm more than happy to help you. If there's anything I can do, please let me know, right? Or if you've done your due diligence and you know that they got a dog named Sparky, hey, Miss Jones, how you doing? How's Sparky doing? He's such an awesome dog. You know, I love dogs, and dogs are awesome, and she's going to go off about how dogs are, and then you can be like, well, if you got any pressure washing or, you know, if you need anything done, just let me know. And guess what? They will do that, right? That's how you can do that. Do you teach taxes and other behind the scenes on your courses? Absolutely, I do. 100%. And I'm going to tell you just what Jeremy says. Profit first is an amazing thing. But if you are people that I know and I can trust, I give you my CPA who has saved people thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. And I don't give him out to just everybody. But he has saved a lot of people money, and he does it the legit way. And that's why I give him out to the people that I know. And that's how that works. And it has saved people lots of money. All right. So what are some other things that we can do to make money? And one of them is gutter cleaning, right? We're getting into the gutter cleaning season. I know Richard does lots of gutter cleaning. Rick does. Mr. Rick up here, he does a crap ton of gutter cleaning. He's up in New York. Gutter cleaning is definitely something that you can do. It's a simple thing you can do. It can make you lots of money. Don't go in and just charge $100. People think that they won't pay more than that. People will pay $200, $300, $400 for a gutter clean out. People will pay $1,200, $1,500 for a gutter clean out. So don't be afraid to charge. And the thing about gutter clean outs is don't be afraid to go in and do different, to give different packages. Maybe you come in every 3 months. Maybe you come in every 6 months and do a gutter clean out, right? Because then you can get these people on a schedule, and now you just got money reoccurring coming in and coming in. And so that's why gutter cleaning is definitely a business that can help you get a good nest egg in the wintertime, right? Because that is a chunk of change that will come in pretty quickly. And some people will do gutter cleaning 2-3 times. Maybe the leaves haven't all fallen down. And so then we can we'll keep these up. And so that way we can do gutter cleaning. Gutter cleaning is definitely something that doesn't cost you much at all. All you need is a ladder and a scooper and start hand scooping them bad boys, right? In some garbage bags. You can do it with the blower and blow them off and blow them down. You know, that can be package one. Hey, we'll blow out your gutters and it's going to make a mess everywhere, but that's going to be the cheap package. If you want the $100, that's what you get. If you want the $150, $200, we hand scoop them, we put them away. You won't even know we were here. Everything will look clean, right? That's package two. Package three, we'll run the garden hose, we'll clean it, we'll make sure everything's flowing good and keep everything clean. There's how I can get three packages. I went from $100 to $300 to $500 just by offering packages for even just old gutter cleaning, right? So gutter cleaning is definitely something that everybody needs. Every year. It's not really a want, it is a necessity, right? Gutter cleaning is a necessity. It's not a want. Another thing we can do in this time of year is one thing we can do all year long, and this is the time that it'll start picking back up, is fleet washing, right? Fleet washing is something that I don't really push too much, but you can two-step it even with the downstream injector. I had a buddy showed me to do it the other day when I went up into Maine, and you could do fleet washing. Fleet washing doesn't pay as good up front as in big chunks, but it's a weekly, monthly, reoccurring thing that you can get. So that's another way of getting income through the wintertime because they want to keep the salt off. And so that's another way that we can do that. Another one thing that we can do that I love is Christmas lights, right? We do gutter cleaning right before we install Christmas lights, the same day service. And so that's another thing you can do to add on to that ticket, right? Hey, we will even clean your gutters for your house, right? So that's another thing that we can do to help do this. Christmas lights, right? I know I had to bring up Christmas lights, but I love Christmas lights. Christmas lights is a super way to make lots of money, right? When you look at each bulb here, look at $10 a piece, right? $10, $20, $30, $40, $50, right? This is how it adds up very quickly. Christmas lights are awesome. If you want to go check out christmaslights.io, you can go check it out there. Another thing, again, if you don't want to check out that, you can go to the Facebook group. It's christmaslights.com/group. I have people make, if they come to my in-person training, make anywhere from $30,000 to $100,000 their very first year. And so that's what's awesome about Christmas lights. Miss Lucky Linda, we do gutter cleaning and then make two to $2,600 and just two services in one day, in one person, right? And so that is what you want to do, right? I'm just trying to help you grow your business. And so for someone like Lucky Linda, they only work on the weekends and they're going to do over $400,000 for Christmas lights and pressure washing. I don't know if they're going to do 400. I'm pushing them to do 400, and they'll probably get pretty close to doing 400. I know they're over $200,000 just in pressure washing, doing working Saturday and Sunday only. And so that is something that you definitely need to do because now, I'm not going to say that Lucky Lindy and Dan, they do it as a couple. And she does work a lot during the week on the marketing and taking phone calls and pushing in the groups and doing all of that kind of stuff. And they only clean on the weekend. Paul said there's no money in Christmas lights. Amazing Christmas light training from Jason. Can you help me grow? Absolutely, I can help you grow. I don't know who you are, but absolutely. Just getting into power washing, very little knowledge. Where do I start besides going through all your videos? That's one way to do it. If you are on a budget, I've got a ton of them online. I would say the biggest thing is learn how to do marketing. Do not go buy a bunch of equipment. If you're going to go spend money, go spend it on marketing because equipment is not going to make you money. And something I would probably tell you to do is look at Christmas lights because right now we're getting at the end of season of pressure washing and you're not going to make much money right now in pressure washing. Right now, we're at the beginning of season of Christmas lights, and it's not too late to start Christmas lights. I've had guys start all the way up into November. November 12th was the latest, and he ended up doing $40,000 his very first year, starting in November 12th. Because November, even if you're just starting now, you probably aren't getting a lot of leads your very first year. So that's why I would tell you that. That's the goal, 400,000. Already closed $60,000 job for next year, so that's awesome. When is the training? The training, if you go to christmaslights.io and go to in-person training, there's one going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina next weekend, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you want to do Christmas lights, it's Saturday, Sunday. If you want to do pressure washing, it's Friday, Saturday. If you want to do all three, that's how you can do that. Yard signs and wraps don't work. He is joking. Have you noticed people spending less this year on luxury services? I have noticed some of the pressure washing and has kind of slowed down for it, but the Christmas lights, people are at the 10% range, so 10-15%, that's normally where you are. So people are still spending money on Christmas lights. Christmas lights is a lead gen game. How do you get leads in? The more leads you get, every 100 phone calls is going to be 10 jobs, right? Every 100 quotes you send out is 10 jobs. So it is a big lead by lead job. I'm already doing Christmas lights, but just trying to get a head start and learn about power washing. I'll see you there. Dan said I need to pick up the slack. I know you're probably getting low on them average tickets. I don't know why my name isn't displaying. I don't know either. It's Facebook. Some people's names display and some people's don't. So that's just the way it is. I know Chris Johnson makes good money on gutter guards. I think they suck and don't work. Should I change my mindset on them? They can make you good money. That kind of goes back to the gutter cleaning. So the gutter cleaning definitely can make you good money. So I would definitely think about it because that is something that I would look at doing is the gutter guards. I know he charges anywhere from $18 to $20 a foot. And so it is a way. I also know My Guy Services. He also does it. And he's at like $10 to $12 a foot for the gutter guards because he's getting a good deal on the gutter guards themselves. And so that is definitely another way. Another thing I forgot to do is concrete sealing. If you're up here in the north, concrete sealing is a great add-on that can help you drive your average ticket up a lot. So that's why it is important. Also, and if you go to King of Pressure Wash, Mr. Chris Johnson is going to be there at that training too, and so you'll learn a lot. And when you come to these trainings, don't just come and think that you're going to sit there and be quiet and don't talk to anybody. You want to network, man. You'll be surprised who you will meet. I had this guy right here come to several of my classes, right? And he's a wealth of knowledge. And he just comes to classes. And so as he's come to my classes, he helps other people and he talks into people's lives. And so it's really cool to see people be successful. And so when you come to my classes, that's why you can get out of that. Permanent lights has become huge. It's getting there. If you do the 3-day in-person, do you have access to your online training after that? Not as of right now. I might give you a deal, but not as of right now. But yes, so those are definitely things that you can do to grow your business, be successful, and keep moving on, right? That's the whole goal. So I have all I have to say. Do you all have any questions about anything? I will answer your questions. So as I was telling you, like Mr. Tristan asked lots of questions on Thursday night or on Monday night Zoom calls. What are your all's questions now of how can I help you grow your business? If you all have any questions. Gutter guards suck. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree 100% gutter guards suck. I hate them. I hate them too. You know, one thing that can help you with gutter guards, I don't have it, is that snake where you can, the jetter, and shove that jetter down underneath of them. And then when you pull them back, all that crap will come back. So that way you can just you pick off one of the gutter guards and take that jetter down through there. And that's an easy way to clean gutters when they have gutter guards. One time I did a house that had these gutter guards that had like this big porcupine looking thing. And so it was supposed to keep everything out. But this thing had so much leaves and so much crap and so much decay. It was completely full of crap, of decayed, old, nasty leaves. Like it was the worst gutter cleaning that I've ever done. And it sucks. So that sucked. I want to grow. $10,000 plus in 1 week with permanent lights. That is pretty awesome. Yes, permanent lights is definitely something that if you haven't thought about, they are awesome, and I would highly recommend you to do them. Permanent lights is definitely something that will help you grow your business. So I like permanent lights, and permanent lights are good. What should be the focus on by season, spring, fall, winter? What should be focused on season, spring, fall? Okay, I'm assuming what should you focus on the season wise. So the spring is obviously working on pressure washing, and that's a really busy time for pressure washing. Fall or summer is working on your commercial work. That's where you really want to push all your commercial work to. And then in winter time or in fall time, you're working on gutter cleaning and you're working on Christmas lights. And in winter time, you're working on marketing, right? Marketing. If you're not busy in any of the other times, you're working on marketing. You can do blogs, you can do your Facebook posts, you can do all of that stuff when it is not busy. Average cleaning, if they have gutter guards, is $450. Real Christmas light installers hate gutter guards. I think everybody hates gutter guards. There's just really no about that. LSA is really giving me, after 2 months of no leads, $1,000 per week budget and nothing. Yeah. I don't, it's kind of weird with that because sometimes it does really good and sometimes it does not do so good. And I think Google has been changing. I know I just read something that I was seeing something today that how Google they're changing a lot of stuff. They're moving a lot of this stuff around. And so it is definitely something that as Google keeps doing this stuff, who knows where it is where. They're driving the Google LSA stuff down, or not LSA, Google Maps down. So it's driving it further and further down. So that's going to be some things. We know that Google Ads, it's not just LSA. I've struggled with Google Ads hard this year. So I don't know what their algorithm, why they're doing stuff, but they are changing a lot of stuff, as one thing I do know. How much would you be trying to produce per machine per hour for recurring work like drive-thrus or dumpster pads? I want to be at least 200 a man hour is my goal. That's where I want to be at, my goal. Hey, what's the Christmas light app you promoted at the training? It is, I don't remember what it's called. Home Holiday Design is what it is. This is how we do it. If you go to christmaslights.io/blog and go into the blogs, I have a whole blog on it. And it's the whole video and everything on it. That way, if I told you wrong, that's where it's at. So that way you know where it is. Yeah. What other questions you have? What's your all's goal for this year and how much have you hit it? So that's my question to you. And so another thing to do in the fall and winter time is start thinking about where do you want to be at this time next year? What are some goals that you want to hit next year? Where do you want to be at this time next year? Do you want to be the exact same where you're at? Do you want to double where you were this year? What do you want to do next year? And then the next thing is how do we work it backwards, right? We need to start thinking about planning for next year. And I know we're only in October, and a lot of times I push this in November and December, but where do you want to be at next year? How can you set yourself up for next year? And so one thing that I would push too is where did you, where if you failed to where you want to be at this year, how far have you come? So don't look at that as a failure, but look at it as how far have you come? What have you done this year to see that, hey, I'm here and now I want to get to here. I didn't make it, but look how far I've come, right? And so what are some things for next year that we can start doing to get us to where we need to be at? Maybe it's, maybe you're like, man, I wanted to get to $100,000 and I didn't do as many posts as I should have. I didn't put out as many yard signs as I should have. I didn't even have a marketing plan. In my mentorship, actually not just membership, but I have a mentorship that I have 8-10 guys in, and I make them fill out a marketing plan, right? What are you going to do in January? What are you going to do in February? What are you going to do in March? What are you going to do in April? What are you going to do in May? What are you going to do in June? And then I do another marketing calendar in July, right? What are you going to do for July through December? Because if we just wait till we get there, you won't do it. And that's why you want to plan what you want to do. And that's what will set you up and get you closer and make it to get you where you want to be at. How did you know you could run a pressure washing crew and separate one for Xmas lights? How did you know you could? It's the hardest thing you'll do. Trusting someone on that freaking truck. Getting off the truck is the second hardest thing to do. The first one is quit the full-time job and go full-time. The second thing is getting off the truck. Those are the two hardest things about running a pressure washing business. They are probably the hardest things that you will ever do is do that. Biggest thing is get systems in place, right? You want systems. Have all the systems set up so people can know what to do and run it without you. In a lot of years, I didn't run my pressure washing truck until my last year. I kept one truck going, but before that, I would shut all my pressure washing trucks down, and we ran all Christmas lights because Christmas lights was where my money was. My last year, I did keep one truck running that I did pressure washing. How do you handle the objection? I want to wait until the weather breaks for pressure washing. Hey man, we don't need to. As long as the weather's good, we're good to go clean, and we can go from there. I'm getting closer. What do you think about Google Rich Snippet Shakeup? It has helped me having all the picks and posts and things teach help me versus the competition. Post and things you teach help me versus the competition. And that's the thing, right? There's reason why I teach you all to do this stuff is because it works. And a lot of people try to do Black Hat and try to get stuff to going that way, and it doesn't work. Google just did a big shakeup for like niche-like sites of if you're not an expert in it. Google did a big shakeup, and it screwed a lot of people. And their traffic went, which that would have drove more traffic to you because you're showing more of the where you are as a force at that point. I am confident I will hit it next year. Then I want to be a guest on your channel. Absolutely, Big Rob. Big Rob, was you talking about average for the week of $2,200 for this week? That's 3 times jobs times that. Yep. All right, guys. Again, if you want to go check out King of Pressure Wash, you can. I want to put out 2,000 yard signs. I want to budget out my marketing spend so I can keep the work coming more consistently versus slow. Okay, so that's 2,000 yard signs. How many are you going to put out per month? How many are you going to put out per week, right? And write it down. Hey, I am going to put out 150, 200 yard signs every week, no matter what. No matter how busy I am, no matter how slam I am, no matter how far I'm booked out, I'm always going to put out 100 yard signs a week, right? And so that's what we have to do. A lot of times we're like, we say this, right? We say that I'm going to put 2,000 yard signs out, and then we get so busy and we quit putting them out, and then we quit getting busy, and then we're like, well, crap. I don't want to put out yard signs, and I don't want to go do this. Now I quit my jobs that slowed down. And so saying putting out 2,000 yard signs, awesome. But my question is how many is that per week? How many is that per month? And you're going to do it no matter what. You're going to do it in April when you're slammed because that's a busy time, and you're going to keep putting out yard signs, right? You're going to keep doing your Google My Business posts. You're going to keep doing your Facebook posts. You're going to keep posting in Facebook groups. You're going to keep posting on LinkedIn, right? These are all things that you need to have out on your in your marketing plan. How many times a week are you going to post on LinkedIn? And write it down and do it. And do it. Don't just write it down, but do it. How many people are you going to go find on LinkedIn a week? How many Facebook groups are you going to post in every week, no matter what? These are things that you write down so that way you will do it. If you don't write it down, you're going to get so busy and then you're going to quit doing it. And that is what will make you not successful. Don't worry about your competition. It's a waste of time. Focus on what you want to achieve as a company and your own growth. 100%. So other than that, hope you all have a good night. If you want to go check out King of Pressure Wash KPW Train, we're going to have some training coming up this next weekend. It's going to be awesome. You're going to have myself. You're going to have Donovan, who is crazy, and he'll have his crazy dog there, and you're going to he always brings him one day. And then you're going to have Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson is awesome. He's awesome at sales. He is an awesome closer, and so you will learn all kinds of stuff. This is a class that you get uncomfortable. I like making people uncomfortable. You get uncomfortable. You actually have to stand up and participate. And if that scares you, good. I want it to be scared, right? Because that is what will make you successful. And so that is why I want you to be successful, right? What's your top 3 marketing strategies for small budgets and newbies? Yard signs, Facebook groups, and just Facebook in general. Go networking. So Facebook groups don't cost you anything. Networking don't cost you anything going flipping rocks. And yard signs is going to cost you about $350 for 100 of them. And go put them out. Go put out 25 a week, 100 a month. If you can do 50 a week, then put out 50 a week. And that's how you can do that. Hey, Jason, are the website domain able to be changed for the ones you make? Yes, I can. But other than that, I hope you all have a great night, and we'll talk at you all later, and I'll see you later.